Hello and welcome to the TheCricEdge. This is a very special episode today, as the cricket has seen a history when a new team, a young team, a talented and aggressive team has now surfaced to the world of cricket. And what a journey it was. I'm talking about Uganda. I'm talking about an African team, the fifth African team who has qualified for the World Cup. And in Pakistan and in the region, they are the talk of the town at the moment. And we will discuss today how Uganda, came to this great victory and now they are into the T20 World Cup. How was the journey to this stage? And to discuss this, we are very lucky to have from Uganda, Denis Musali, the communication manager for Ugandan team, and from Namibia, a TV host, a sports journalist from a Ugandan media, Miss Grace Joyce. Thank you very much, Grace and Denis, for joining us. And in the studios, I do have Mr. Noman Azim, and you have seen him all the time in our show. Noman Azim is a cricket analyst. He's an ex-player. He has played under 19. Assalamu alaikum, Noman, and thank you very much for joining in.
Walaikum salam, and welcome to Grace and Denis.
Noman, we have seen, we were very excited about the Ugandan team, and, suddenly the news was that Uganda beat Zimbabwe, the test playing nation, and they were everywhere in international news. What a great journey, what a great the team to come into the World Cup. It seems that, when the Kenyans came once in the World Cup and they surprised everyone, everyone was stunned. They beat Australia in the World Cup, and maybe, we can have, some same sort of results. Viewers, let me tell you, these Ugandan players, these are called the cranes. I think that's the national bird of Uganda. And these cranes really rocked, and they gave some tough time, Noman, to the teams. And they beat Kenya, they beat Zimbabwe, and they were at the top. And what an excitement to the cricket, yet another good team.
Exactly. Yasir, I think coming into the qualifiers, Uganda was kind of the underdogs, as Zimbabwe and Kenyans were the favorites to qualify for the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
So it was good. Uganda did really well, beating Kenya and Zimbabwe both, and that was a good result for them. And going forward, I think new teams coming out of Africa is really a good sign for the cricket.
Very right. Uganda was captained by Brian Masaba, and his team and his men achieved the glory in the African qualifier. I'll go straight to Mr. Denis Musali, who is on my left. Welcome, Denis, and many congratulations. Denis is a communication manager with Ugandan team, and he has joined us from Uganda, Kampala. Hello, Denis, and welcome to the show.
And thank you for having me. Apologies for trouble with connection.
Yeah. I can hear you now. I can hear you, Denis. All right. Let's go to Grace. We are just waiting for Denis' connection. Grace, thank you very much for being on the show. You have joined us from Namibia. You are a Ugandan TV, and we have seen, Pakistanis have seen you, on the matches, and the excitement level you have shown. It was so wonderful that you have been covering all these African qualifiers. How do you feel as a Ugandan that your team has qualified for the T20 World Cup?
Thank you for having me. First of all, as a Ugandan, it gives me great joy to see that we are going to play at a global stage. I've been covering cricket for a couple of years now, and some of the things I've seen that the team achieve, especially in the Challenge League B, were tremendous, but we failed to make it past the line, and it broke my heart as a Ugandan. But as someone who has followed these boys and the work they've been putting on, every other tournament they go and play, they come back and work on the gaps and be better. So to see that finally, from the many near misses, as the captain said, they made it, to me gives me so much joy as a journalist, but also a Ugandan. But also not to overshadow the achievements of Uganda. During the tournament week, there was a lot of cricket exhibited by all the associate countries. You would see the bowling sides have improved, the battings have improved. So I think tournaments like this have really shone a good light on associate cricket.
I think he's having some problems.
With the technical problem, but he will join us. Numan, Grace, can you tell, did the Cranes believe that they can achieve this victory, they can win when they, because Namibia was there, Kenya was there, Zimbabwe was there especially, and, people thought that, this is understood that Zimbabwe and Namibia would qualify. How was the belief in the Ugandan team? How is that journey from, and what was happening in Ugandan cricket before that?
During the tournament time, I'll talk mainly about the tournament. From the time we stepped off the plane and arrived here in Namibia, the coach and the captain said they had come to play 6 finals. So they were going to play each game as a final, meaning they wanted to win every game because they knew winning each game would take them to the World Cup. So the hope was there, the positivity was there, and the zeal to do all the best was there. You could see it in the game they played against Tanzania. They played a final to a point that they did not even get to the 20 overs in their innings. They wanted to finish the game quickly, have a good net run rate, good score. The unfortunate part came during the game of Namibia, where our fielding failed us. But you see that the team picked up themselves, and when they came against Zimbabwe, it was not a matter of we are playing a big dog. It was a matter of we are, and what we want from this final is a win.
And as you said, that they played every match like it was a final for them, and it did pay them dividends. And everybody in the team, I was looking at the scorecards of different matches, and I could see that everybody in the team chipped in. The bowlers did their job, and the batsmen were really good. Like their strike rates, I was impressed by their strike rates. Like they were hitting the ball like 130 plus. Their strike rates were 130 plus. So they were really good. I mean, in the games in overall tournament.
Yes, they were really good. And then talking about the squad, when the squad was chosen to come for these qualifiers, we were missing Cosmas and Juma, who are some of our fast bowlers. But the coach said he has chosen people that knows when they are called up to the occasion, they will deliver. And we have all witnessed everyone that was given a chance on any game brought their A game, and that's how we got past the line.
The journey of Ugandan team, you are part of that team, and how proud do you feel, that you have achieved that milestone, which so many countries, still after so many years could not achieve. How this happened, Denis?
Yeah, guys, it's great to hear about this. I started reading here, and when the rain comes, it interferes, so I keep jumping back over, but I'm now back.
Yeah. Dennis, can you how was, when you started the tournament, did you how was the planning to beat Namibia and especially Zimbabwe? Were the team very motivated that yes, we will do it, and or there were signs that okay, let's go and play. Maybe we can come on number 3 or number 4, or maybe how was the morale when they started the tournament?
I think the first time we played T20 2019, and we had we had a horror show. I would say we had a terrible, and that tournament was hosted in Kampala. We finished fourth behind Namibia, Kenya, Nigeria. Uh, One of the lessons from that tournament was because in the T20 World Cup that happened for the global qualifier in 2020, Zimbabwe was under suspension by the ICC. So Zimbabwe pulled out and they needed another team from the qualifiers to actually go for that tournament. And that's how Nigeria went for that tournament. So one of the lessons for Uganda was that maybe even if you go as the top team, you always need to make sure that you're close enough to the guys that are at the top. So Kenya and Namibia had qualified from Kampala, but because Nigeria had finished third, they were able to take up the position that Zim didn't have at that time due to their suspension. So because of us finishing fourth, we actually missed out on another very big event, the qualifiers in Dubai. So some of the lessons from that tournament were that you always make sure you need to stay with the guys who are at the top. Make sure you stay very, very close to them. But there on 2 years later, of course, keeping COVID, we went to Rwanda, did very well as a team. The guys beat Kenya in a very, very entertaining final to qualify for the global qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Last year when we were in Zim, there were a lot of lessons taken as well. We needed to do a lot of work for us to bridge the gap between us and the top teams. We were heavily defeated by Netherlands. We saw what PNG did to us, so we realized that we have a lot of to do if we're going to be a very good T20 team. So the work started immediately when Coach Lawrence Mahatani came here. He made it he intentionally clear to the board that we needed to be playing against the top teams in the world for us to be able to catch up with them. It was not good enough for us to only play against the likes of then the region, Tanzania, Kenya, but for us to improve, we needed to play against the top teams in the world. So since 2001, it's been very intentional for us to always go to Namibia and play against them. Namibia are going for their third consecutive T20 World Cup, and that shows that for us to compete with them on a regular gives us an opportunity to play against teams that have played at the highest level. The first time we went to Namibia, they beat us 5-0. Next time we went back, they won the series 3-2. This year we went back again. Maybe the team had a bit of issues because a couple of people because they lost their parent. So we still lost 5-0, but we played one of I think the best T20 games this year. So there are a lot of lessons that are being learned because we are competing against the best teams. So when it came into the tournament, for us to play against Namibia or Zimbabwe was not going to be like a wow moment or something that has never been done before. We had come into the tournament well prepared, knowing the things that we have to do to make sure we get the results even against the best teams. On the back of the whole tournament in preview, I think our worst game was the one we played against Namibia. In that particular game, we dropped a lot of chances. We gave our wickets, which never happened in all the other 5 games. So clearly, if we had played to our potential in the game against Namibia, they could have been on the wrong end of the result as well. But we held our nerve. We kept the pressure up against Zimbabwe. I think they were shocked by the level that we could be able to compete against them. And in the end, even when we were chasing down the total, we took our time. We knew when to switch gears. We knew when to slow down a little bit and to stay calm under pressure. So eventually we picked up that victory. Many call it an upset, but 5 wickets against a top test team is no mean feat.
Right, Dennis, just tell us something about your infrastructure about cricket. How does it go there? I mean, do you have proper grounds, or does ICC support you in any way?
We are an associate nation, and ICC supports us greatly. I think they are our biggest supporters. After the ICC, it's our government, which through the National Council of Sports, who also support us. 2 years down the road, when cricket started performing well on the international scene, then our under 19 boys had qualified for the World Cup in the West Indies in 2022. Government decided to make cricket also a priority sport. Before then, we were getting small bits of help, But this time, in our country, there are sports that are categorized as priority sports. So, for example, football is one of them, netball, rugby, basketball, and then cricket also got into that conversation because of our performances. And now that we are at the World Cup, we are one of the few senior sports in Uganda that have gone to the World Cup. The other is rugby and netball. So it's going to that means that we are looking at getting more support from government. But in terms of cricket infrastructure, unfortunately, we're still struggling on that, and I think that is one of our biggest government. We don't have enough infrastructure in this country. The ground that we use as our, let's say, uh, for example, what we call your big ground. Let's say, for example, the Gaddafi Stadium in Pakistan is owned by government, and we don't have any bit of control on how it is being managed or used. So sometimes it becomes a challenge because of other competing needs, because the same facility is also used by other needs, sometimes that can interfere with either our trainings or maybe competitions. So our biggest need still, again, to make sure that the game grows in this country is support from government to help us find the home of cricket, what we call the home of cricket in Kampala, because Kampala is the capital city, and also the people play the game are here. So we're still struggling with infrastructure. We have 4 cricket grounds that can host international games in Uganda. The 2 of them are in Kampala, 3 are in Kampala, and then 1 is outside Kampala. But still, that's good because even those grounds are still not owned by the Uganda Cricket Association. One of them is owned by the Entebbe Golf Club. We are only tenants on that facility, and the other is a university ground, Chambogo University, and the university also sometimes has competing needs for the same facility. So we're still struggling on the facilities. Nonetheless, I think we have not played like a team that is struggling.
I think, Dennis, this qualifying to the World Cups will definitely pave way to your cricket and your domestic cricket as well, because lots of eyeballs will be towards you right now. And ICC definitely would look into it, and through our media, we request them to definitely look into these matters, that nations that are playing like in such conditions, like just you said, they should be given some kind of monetary help so that they can grow their cricket in their countries.
Yeah, very right. All right, talking to Miss Grace. Grace, the team unit was fantastic under the leadership of Brian Mesaba. And how much do you think the overseas players have the impact in the team?
I think for most of the players, even when you hear their interviews after the game, they came and said they looked up to some of the players that were in this tournament. Players like Raza, people have heard of him, and he has played well for a couple of years. He now plays in the IPL. Most boys were committed by him, but that did not stop them from performing to their best, because to them this was a stage not just for them to meet Raza or these other top players, but it was a stage for them to prove that they belong to the global stage. I've talked to players like Riyazat Alisha, who said since he was young he has dreamed of playing in against England and Australia. So being part of the team that qualifies for the World Cup, he's even going to work harder to see that he can take his cricket on the global stage. Players like Roger Mukasa, Papa, we all call him Papa in the team. When I spoke to him after the Kenya game, he said to see that he can make a contribution to the team, like in the presence of other elite players, to him was a dream come true, and he's not going to stop. So yes, there was a factor of we are smitten by some of these players, but we have also come to play cricket, and we are bringing our best cricket to this event.
All right. Okay. Well, as we have the communication manager of Ugandan team, a picture came that shows the real how much the patriotic the team Uganda is, how much they love their country, and how much they would love to win for their country. the video released by Ugandan TV that the wicket keeper of Uganda team, he is presenting back the flag to the manager of the team. It was so fantastic to see that they are very passionate and they are very spirited. They are on a very high at the moment. That was good to see. Mr. Denis, you are the communication minister. Was it your plan to make this video of the flag and the handing over a flag?
No, no, no. I think that is what the young boys in the team bring. They did that. They started doing that in Rwanda last year when they played in the first edition of the East African T20 Cup. But Cyrus Kakuru and that is Jonathan Sebanja in that video. But that is the vibe that the young boys bring to the team. This team has a good mix of youth and experience, and that was their idea. I will not take credit for it, but Cyrus did it in Rwanda with Cosmas Chewuta. So the young boys like to bring that sort of vibe. This is they live in this digital age, so they're always up to something. And for us as a communications team, we just ride along with them, especially if it's going to get us more eyeballs and get more people interested in Ugandan cricket.
Dennis, I would just like to ask you about two players. I mean, tell us something about Alpesh. I think it is Alpesh Ramjani.
Yeah.
And Riyazat Ali Shah. I think these two are the main players for your team.
I think, Noman, you're right, but
Yeah.
the opener, the Ugandan team opener, the guy who presented this flag with the. He is also a good man to watch.
Simon, I think he's Simon
Sisazi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He looks to be a good player. Yes. Yes, you are right, Yasir.
Everyone of the 15 is a very good player. Maybe you just get to see the 11 that take the field, but there were other guys who didn't get a chance to play a lot in the tournament. But everyone on that team is representative of there's so many good players that we have in this country. We have two top quality fast bowlers that never featured in this tournament, and I hopefully will be able to see them at the World Cup because we're recovering from injuries. But Rizubai, like I like to call him, Rizubai, very good man. He's more Ugandan now than Pakistani. He comes from a place called Gilgit. I hope I pronounced it well. But somewhere in the mountains.
Gilgit-Baltistan. Yeah.
Gilgit, Pakistan. He's a very, very good man. He loves Uganda so much. He plays with. Maybe someday we're about to change his skin color, but he's really more Ugandan now. He loves everything Uganda. Fantastic cricketer. He's been our go-to player. This year he was voted by our Uganda Sports Association as cricketer of the 2022, and this is the second time in that award. But he's a very, very fantastic player, especially in the T20 version for us. He's been able to stand out and is to stand up in the crucial moments when the team needs him, either with the bat. He was the one who won us the game when we won the Continent Cup T20 in Nairobi. I think one of the ICC performances, I'm unfortunately picked up, but his performance in the final of the Africa Cup against Tanzania scored 98. So he's been a very, very good player for us, especially in cricket, because of his skill level. His skill level is suited for him. He bats at the top of the order agreement. Sometimes we're under pressure, and then other times he comes in when the stage is set for him to just explode. I just joined the team, made his debut for the team at the in South Africa, but he's been around. He plays for a local cricket club. It's called Aziz Damani. He's been around. He took time before he got into that. I think when he was ready enough to play international cricket, the selectors put him in there. He's really improved and bounds. He struggled a little bit in the Africa Cup, and because later on in the year to Rwanda to play another tournament, he struggled a little bit to adjust to international cricket. But once he's been able to get comfortable, he started putting in the performances. I think show the kind of quality he has. He had a very good knock against Zimbabwe State Cam, even when the quick bowlers were coming after him. and he's been really someone who has shown a lot of improvement. I think his coming into the team also helped Henry Senyondo, level up, because there was competition for the place in the side, and both of them, those two left arm spinners, have been very very tidy for the team. So it's just a good mix of players who've been together for a very long time. Only 15 get to come, but this group of players has been together for the last 3 years, and it's a collection of about 25 people, and everyone is very very excited for them. So it's been a process for them to be able. The vice captain of the team, Deus Mhumza, is a long-term injury. He had a knee operation last year, but he sacrificed most of his life last year to just make sure that the team can get somewhere. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to be part of the team that has made history for Uganda. But you feel that down the line, these are all guys who've been part of this process, and they are happy for each other as a group.
Going to Grace. Grace, you are a TV person. You are a TV person, and I also been associated with Pakistani media for so long. But in Pakistan and India, cricket is like a craze. Everyone do watches. How is the cricket viewership in Uganda? And you are a cricket broadcaster, so do people are indulging in watching the cricket, and especially the World Cup and all that?
The cricket community in Uganda is growing. Definitely, we are not where we were 2 years ago, and that's I would say kudos to Denis Musali, who made it his personal mission to market cricket in Uganda. But mostly the people who love cricket in Uganda, we love cricket. We just love cricket, so we go there. And as Denis said, since the team started performing well at global stage, that's when everyone started to ask, what is cricket? How do I know cricket? And the support came in. So as I speak right now, I think the whole country is asking themselves, what is cricket? To see that in Uganda, we have a culture where the president invites top teams to the state house. If the president can call out a team to the state house, that shows it's a milestone. But also the people partner with the clubs, partner to buy jerseys. Recently, I saw people were texting asking me, where do I buy a jersey? How do I put on and get me a cricket jersey? It shows you that interest is growing. And I will add that as a master who has done my best to publicize cricket, I know that the circles I'm in, okay, and they will take at least an effort to go watch a cricket game, especially when Uganda is playing. The women's are just next week. People tell me, do not leave me when the qualifiers have started. Keep me updated about the qualifiers, because now the tournament is no more about cricket. We are non-bets is not as big as Pakistan, but considering the leaps and bounds the cricket has made, I think that fine with it.
Just want to stay with you for a little while. Just tell me, what are the plans for you? I mean, how do you, you are trying to you are trying to do anything about putting Uganda's cricket team on social media more than what you are doing right now?
I think for that they have the communication manager.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Grace, for you first, please.
So me as a sports journalist, I've taken it upon myself that beyond covering the stories and putting them on TV, I will put them on my social media. I will tell other people about them. And that is what I keep doing. And to me, I am glad that the sport can get to grow from there, because I love cricket. Denis knows I love cricket. But also to keep growing in my cricket knowledge and cricket skills, I manage a cricket club. I'm an administrator for a cricket club, and I am always in cricket circles. I go to training games with people. At least I can hold a bat, play a little. I may not be as good as the team, but I've done my best myself in the game. And I think it's what other journalists, I may be the one posting more, but I know there are other journalists who are who are rooting for cricket, who we are in the same group, talking cricket, talking how we decide cricket and better grow Ugandan cricket. So it's a joint effort of the Ugandan media, of the sports people that love cricket and are willing to go the extra mile to grow the game because it deserves.
Let me talk with Dennis. Dennis, in the last match we saw when you beat Kenya by 33 runs, I see a lot of, all rounders in the team and one specialist leg spinner or one specialist spinner, left hand spinner. Uh, What about the fast bowling attack? Do you have specialist fast bowlers in the team? Because in the T20, I see all the all rounders or the medium pacers. Is there any special fast bowlers to look, for the world of cricket? When you come to the T20, specialist bowlers or more spinners?
Before you answer, Dennis, just let me add a little bit into it. Your captain Brian Masaba, his style of bowling is fast medium bowler, but I mean leg break googly bowler. It's already written on there on his profile. How can he bowl leg spinners as well?
Yeah, Brian used to bowl when he started off. I think when he started playing with him when he was still a junior, he was a very good medium pace. But over time, I think when he started to specialize, he realized maybe leg break would be a more resourceful cricketing skill for him, especially if he wants to play very long. So he hasn't, and that is something also that shows how the team has been growing and improving. In when they played the trial games in Zimbabwe, he bowled a lot. He bowled a couple of overs, and I think he made himself an option in case that they need someone else to bowl, and he's been able to do very well. Uh, for especially for Brad Masaba. He stopped bowling the medium pacers. He used to bowl medium pace when he started off, but now he's more into the spin, the skill of bowling spin bowling of spin. Then for the fast pacers, that's why I told you we have two boys who are very very good. Juma Miyagi burst onto the scene at the Under 19 World Cup. Watched a couple of those games. In one of those games, Uganda was playing, I think, Ireland. We had 9 slips just put for him because he was one of the quickest bowlers in that tournament. He was reaching clicks of 135, but unfortunately, he came down with an injury.
Dennis, any 150 plus bowler, coming to Zimbabwe, Uganda?
No, 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 150. 150, I'll be lying. I'll be lying. We're not yet there. But Jumia is a young man. He's only 20. I think if he keeps developing, he'll be able to get to that level. Cosmas Cheuta is also very, very good. He had actually gone to a fast bowling academy in South Africa, but unfortunately got injured while he was there on that training. So those are two young boys who have very, very good wheels on them. I think they can reach, if they are looked after properly, they could reach at least 140. But they are still very young. They were not fit enough to play in this qualifier. But I can guarantee you, if they are fit enough by June next year, you should be able to see them at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to see them in the World Cup, Dennis, and we really
Yeah, they could
wish
be
them.
bowling to Barbara Azam.
Yeah, it would be really exciting. Babar Azam is like our best batsman in Pakistan and in world cricket right now, and it would be a good matchup. I think if you can send any bowler who can bowl more than 140 clicks.
Dennis, one more thing. What are the future series? What is Ugandan team will be doing in the coming days before the World Cup? What is the schedule like?
I think for now we are still trying to get over the excitement. But one of the things we had planned next year was usually every year we tour. We have an annual tour. We have a relationship with or without going to the World Cup. We normally go to Qatar. We have a relationship with them. We visit Qatar every year. between late January and early Feb, and we play a couple of series with them. We have again an annual relationship with Namibia. They'll be visiting Uganda this time. For the last 3 times, we've been going to Namibia, but they'll be coming to Kampala around the Easter weekend to play a couple of series with us. And considering now that both of us are going to the World Cup, I think that will be an important series as well. The second round, we should be starting the cycle of the Challenge League B tournament, the 50 over version where we qualify for the 2027 World Cup sometime next year. But there, in between as well, we have the All Africa Games that will be happening in Ghana this year. Cricket will be featuring for next year. Cricket will be featuring for the first time, so we have to be at that tournament as well as both Ugandan teams, the Victoria Powers and the Cricket Cranes. So there's a lot of cricket between now and June for the boys to try and make sure that they sharpen their skills and go and put their best foot forward at the World Cup.
All right, Grace, you will be sticking to Uganda cricket, and we'll be, watching you with a lot of more reports and news with Uganda cricket.
Yes, definitely. I will return to Uganda tomorrow, and definitely Denis knows that I'm now going to cover the women's qualifier that happens just in a week's time. But then all the other tours, whether I'm with the boys physically or not, I'm always keeping myself abreast with everything they're doing and covering and updating everyone about what's happening. So yes, I'm going to be with the cricket team and continuing to publicize them.
Denis, thank you very much, Grace, for your time, precious time, and we would love to see this passionate Uganda, the cricket cranes in the World Cup, and the whole world is, looking for that. People have seen yellow of the Australia, but maybe you never know that the Uganda yellow can dominate. Maybe they, be able to dominate the cricket world. Like the Kenya did, they stunned the world once. At the end, we will end the show with the Uganda team dance. Till next time, it's goodbye from me and Noman.